That sound is the new After Effects. Right now, you listen to Cold Hearted by Meech. Once again, that was Cold Hearted by Meech. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to After Effects, which concierge. This is me, said he said, CJ. And once again, I'm back with part 2 of interviewing Mrs. Sutton.
What's up, y'all? What it do?
So, we had to do a part 2 to this. Part 2 on simple fact of we need to dive a little more into what we couldn't get into on the first episode. And you know how we do it. Straight shooter. Let's get into this.
I don't know why they want this raw and uncut
I
version,
don't,
but hey.
What the heck are you? You know what? I ain't. Y'all just people. Anyways. How you feeling, honey?
I'm feeling good.
You ready?
Gloves off. Let's get it.
Father God. Jesus, have mercy on me. All right. So, let's start with this.
Okay.
When you first met me, how was it?
When I first met you, I found you immensely annoying.
Me.
You asked for honesty. You were like the extra playful, I gotta take stuff and dangle it over your head where you can't reach it. And I was like, if this man liked me, why won't he just open his mouth and say that he liked me versus playing around like we elementary school kids in the schoolyard? But I will say that your personality is amazing. And it was a behavior that grew on me. And your little sweet charm and goofy jokes and playful nature wore me down.
Took forever. But on all serious note, though, man, did you ever see this actually blossom into what it actually blossomed into?
Well, it blossomed because you finally learned how to speak English.
I'm seriously gonna throw you out the house.
When I came into your place of employment at that time, and I was having a really, really frustrating day, and you were just there. It wasn't about being goofy or just being playful. It was you really tapping in and saying, hey, something is really wrong with her. And when I asked for that embrace and you embraced me and I just melted.
We wasn't even friends.
In your mind, we wasn't friends. But we were friends. You just annoyed me. It's like...
You were height challenged.
I am not height challenged. It's the truth that you are a giant, but it doesn't make me height challenged because back in our generation, the 80s, I was average height. And then people start populating all these extra stunted growth children. That's not my fault.
Don't blame me. Blame them folks that keep putting stuff in the food.
Exactly. So that's not my problem. But, I mean, I'm saying like you embraced me and you allowed me to see that subtle and calm side of you. And I was like, yeah, that's what I want to get to know.
There's nothing about me subtle or calm.
When you're tapping into emotion, it is. However, you know, you are more playful than anything. So you are very playful. But like I said, it's something I had to grow on. But when you embraced me and helped me out and pumped my gas, and then later on, after we exchanged numbers, you sending me all the cute emojis and the texts, and I was like, yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Uh-huh. All right. We're going to fast forward just a tad bit.
You sure you want to do that?
Nah, I'm really just... Whatever, man. Don't be messing with my train of thought. So, we in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
How was it to meet the family for the first time? Now, before you get into that, we're going to take a quick break. Coming back with another track by Meech.
What count is pain? Like my bitches in two different flames. With some dog eyes, niggas know you can't tame. Can't let the money change. Boy, you better have aim. Since you flushing that thing. They like Michi boy, I just can't feel him. Try to play like he done, we gon' try to play like he done, we gon' drill him. Said he tweaked up the mess, that's a real him. And these niggas ain't know I can really make it. Houses got shot at, robbed at. Niggas ain't know that them houses was really vacant.
Alright, man. We back here on After Effects. Alright. So we about to get back into this. Alright, go ahead and answer.
Oh, Lord. So, meeting the immediate family for the first time. It actually kind of creeped me out. Because within the first 30 minutes of meeting people, I was already being called daughter and everything else. And I'm like, I just met you people. What do you mean I'm your daughter? Like, that's creepy. Like, but I mean, it didn't creep me out enough to where I ran from you. It was just one of those situations where I was like, okay, so what is he telling them? Or are they seeing something that I ain't tapped into yet? Or what's going on? It was to a point where I actually called a friend of mine and was like, girl, like, I was in the house for all of 2.5 seconds and we doing gift exchange for Valentine's Day and I'm being told, oh, good night, daughter. Who? What? Where? Huh? So yeah, it was a little creepy. And then I'm looking at a really weird relationship situation because here is someone who is young and vibrant, and then I'm looking at the partner side and I'm like, was there some daddy issues here, or was there some kind of complexes here? Like, okay, this is weird to me, but hey, to each his own. Love is defined very differently for everyone, so
at that, you're special.
Truth.
At that moment, as our relationship began, did you know that it was going to take off in the direction that it was going?
I did not. However, I learned from my mistakes by not setting a standard for myself or the person that I was dating. So when we first started dating, and the first initial conversation we had, when
I'll never forget that freaking conversation.
I had to specify, like, you know, toys are for kids. You know, like, if you're not trying to take this seriously, please walk away from me because I can't do no more heartbreak.
That's real.
And that's just facts. Like, I'm getting older. I'm not getting younger. Child's play is for children. If I want to play, my sister got an approval of kids, I can go to her house to play with.
I don't even want to talk about that one. we gonna wait a little bit later for that one.
All right.
As our relationship progressed, you hit on you being a caretaker in the last segment. Dive a little deep into that. What really made you become a caregiver, and how did you deal with the everyday process of what came with it?
So me becoming a caregiver was not my decision. I was kind of thrust into that lane.
Nice.
Being living at that time currently with my grandmother, and something happened, unfortunately, that put me in a position where I had to step up. Now, I had a choice. I could have threw my hands up and walked away, but I chose not to.
Right.
And yes, it came with its challenges because, you know, my relationship with my grandmother was not always a positive one. So being one that had to come in later on in life and provide the care and necessities that she needed was difficult for me in the beginning because I was dealing with my own emotional struggles and turmoil, as well as trying to aid her and assist her. And some days were easier than others because there were moments where she would kick back, literally, and it would be times where I would be about ready to pull my hair out. There were moments where I would take care of her and her needs during the day, and I would be in bed crying at night. And I thank God for my support system that was like, hey, you know, you can do this, you can get through this. And honestly, I had to go to therapy. I had to seek some extra help that my spouse couldn't give me, you know, the church couldn't give me. I had to, you know, go get a professional out here to help me work through some childhood trauma and some childhood issues that ultimately ended up carrying over into my adulthood. Because the one thing that I said is I wanted to heal before I passed any of that drama or hurt or anger onto my children. So now we're 4 years in, and I wouldn't trade this decision or this honor that God placed on me for anything. I love her. She is a absolute joy. It's like having a kid without a kid in an adult form, but it's a joy for me now, where in the beginning I thought of it more as I thought of it more as a burden at first. And then I realized that my burden turned into my blessing.
All right. Well, we're going to get back into that a little more in depth. Right. Again, we back with another teaser from Meech.
About who the greatest, and these niggas ain't know I can really make it. I just got shot at, robbed at, niggas ain't know that them houses was really vacant. Shawty so bad, she get the slopping, and she got knees like she really making. And niggas on the gram like we gon' make. Show the bitch cash, then she gon' shake. But he tryna show his ass, boy, we gon' raid. And I'm rocking them chains like I'm going through. And I'm rocking them chains like I'm going through slide. Only met a few months, now you talking about a day. Tryna play like a Dutch boy, we gon' blaze. Niggas always got their hands, I was talking about a fade. Boy, you better get your man sound fucking old night. Show's on, but whenever it goes on, just know I gotta keep my fucking pole on. Bankroll in my wrist on froze. No again, want that bitch will be rose.
After Effect is back in the game. So we left off with a little bit. So we're getting ready to get into this situation a lot right now.
Okay.
Oh. Father, in the name of Jesus.
You better call
God Almighty. All right, man. This is what we're going to do. So here you go. You said it was a burden in the beginning.
I thought of it as a burden. It's a difference.
Whatever.
But it's a difference.
Anywho. You thought as a burden in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Was the relationship between you two strained?
It was.
Okay. Can you elaborate on it, or you really don't want to talk about it?
More so the fact that there was, I had to understand that she could not give me what she didn't have. When my mom passed and she took me in, I was looking for a love that I did not understand as a child. She didn't have the gift to me, so she did what she knew how to do without really realizing the damage that it was causing. So, I thank God that my cousin, who I call my mom, was able to step in and finish the rearing and help build up the self-esteem and the courage and the love. And I thank God that he placed it on her heart to take me, because it was what was needed. And that's why that and the hardships and the trials and the tribulations that I did go through growing up without my mom and dealing with things that I won't disclose concerning my grandmother, all of it ended up working full circle to bring me to where I am today.
Was it hard to forgive?
Very. The one thing I remember telling you in the beginning of everything is, don't wait until you're placed in a position where you have to care for someone before you forgive them, because it is hard to work through the process of forgiveness and try to care for the person that you're trying to forgive at the same time. So it was difficult because I was carrying and juggling 500 different emotions. And it was really hard for me to work through.
Yep. All right. We get into this middle part. Were you worried about how I was going to receive the current structure of your life of you being the caregiver for Granny?
I wasn't necessarily worried about how you were going to perceive it. I was more worried about how she was going to perceive you. Knowing what I know concerning my grandmother.
We're going to leave that alone.
I was more so worried about her behavior, how she would interact with you, accept you.
How you going to answer and laugh in my face at the same time?
Because my mind is thinking about certain times where she done, tested your gangster for real. But, I mean, the thing is that was my worry. I was more so worried about how she would perceive you.
Yeah, because we had some real live issues in the beginning.
That's because y'all insane, and I still will never let y'all live down that doggone tug of war. That's my blood. That's my wife. I'm like, what are y'all, blood and Crips up in here? Like, I'm a human. I'm not Stretch Armstrong.
Man, listen. It was my house, which I was helping paying half and everything in that house. And she gonna try to throw me out of the house.
That was funny, though.
I don't care, man. Listen, you don't come in my stuff disrespecting me. I don't care who you is.
Yeah, how well has that worked for you?
Man, listen, we got a better understanding now.
But I'm grateful because you guys were able to work through y'all territorial issues.
Territorial?
Yeah, and
honestly, what do you mean, man? That was a landslide. It's like we was almost fighting every day. Like, literally, I would come in and I'd be tired. And then next thing I know, she'll just go completely off over, I don't even know, like, I'll never forget. And this here is what really just, I don't even know what the heck that was. But I literally will never forget. I walk in the house. Hi. Hello. Okay. You alright? I'm fine. You okay? I'm fine too. I know we got into that argument over some ice cream, but we're going to leave that there.
Listen, all I'm saying is the older generation is something special, but... Something special? Yes.
Are you serious? Half of them belong in a straitjacket.
But I'm saying, though, you can't compare her to nothing with what you got going on.
You know what? We about to whole dive into...
She an angel compared to...
Yeah, we're about to dive into that. We'll be right back after this joint by Meech again called Watching My Step.
From the land where it's with the Franks, live on to his back like he had Twan Jameson. But he gotta bring them K's. Hit him from the back, so they got them braces. She ain't got no laces.
Once again, we back with After Effects, man. So, what you nosy folks want to know is about me.
Of course. Why wouldn't they want to know about you?
I don't want to know about me.
You're a very interesting topic, sir.
Yeah, whatever. Alright, so this is what we about to do like this. The day that we decided that we was gonna get married. See, I don't have time for what you about to say and do, but for my wonderful people that are listening, I have to do this. Uncomfortable as it is, we about to do it. The day that we decided to get married.
Mm-hmm.
Tell everyone how that was received.
Well, we were on the verge of discussing marriage in the first place because, as I stated earlier, we both knew that that was going to be the intended goal. However, I was called over to a friend of my grandmother's house when I got off of work, and she was explaining to me that my grandmother was asking her about when the wedding was going to be, and she was told that it was going to be the following year. And of course, like most elderly people, you know, they get to talking about how they don't know if they gonna live to make it and see it and things of that nature. So we had originally had this conversation in which you had stated that you knew I was your wife.
Right.
And that whether we did it now or did it later, it didn't matter.
Yeah, because we pretty much knew and was well aware that it was going to go down.
Exactly.
So it didn't matter when it was. Now, make sure I'm going to go ahead and specify this. Nobody knew, keep in mind, no one, I can't stress this enough, no one knew
So funny
that we known each other since 2018.
Oh, you talking about the definition of a shotgun wedding?
Man, listen, that still is
funny to me, yes.
burning up my Uranus.
You're so stupid.
But I'm gonna let you go ahead because I'm answering the questions. Please, as best as you can, please solidify this. The undeniable dumbness, I can't put it no other way, that was stated on the receiving end when it was announced that we was getting married.
Well, here's the thing. We had already discussed this, and we had decided that we were just going to go to the Justice of Peace.
Right.
And the goal was to do...
I think at the time, Shaker was doing like a 1 month, month type situation where you could have came in there and got it done.
I'm not sure of all the details, but
yeah.
We were going to go...
Anyway, we going to the Justice Center to get it done.
Right. So...
What we decided.
Right. Keep that in mind, people, what we had decided. So we said that we were going to do a big wedding the way we wanted to do it and where we could pay for it. Please keep that in mind. In July of 2020.
Where there will be no black clouds over our head with anybody saying what they done, because I can't stress this enough. I am a May baby. I am a Tyrian. If you want to make me upset, please throw up in my face what you have done for me. And you're going to see me act very differently than my wonderful spiritual Christian self.
Facts. So, after we made this public service announcement about how we were just going to have a couple of witnesses, the main thing was I wanted my grandmother to see her youngest granddaughter get married.
The baby.
The baby. My fiancé at the time was in full agreement to this.
Yeah, we was cool.
Until I'm on my way to work one day. And I get a phone call. As we are discussing the marriage, Mr. Said CJ himself says to me, well, we can get married right now. I said, excuse me? He said, yeah, my stepfather, is a pastor. And I said, he a who? Oh, he a pastor. Now, let's keep this in mind. And maybe, just maybe, I'm putting a little too much on the title of pastor, preacher, whatever you want to be called. But I am a stickler for the word accountability. Whatever title you hold, you need to be accountable in the position that you hold. I watched behaviors that was not in line with how I wanted my marriage to be. And that would be conversations. That would be how things were transmitted in those conversations, tones of voices, and those things I could not align my marriage with. And of course, Cedric at the time was not understanding of this because he didn't realize that I paid that much attention to my surroundings. So when he said it,
key phrase, be guarded and protect yourself at all times.
Yeah.
And don't go against your own personal gain for nothing.
So with that being said, when he mentioned it, I said absolutely not. Now, I'm keeping it PG because I no longer cuss, but if you can imagine, I had a few choice words about what he suggested.
Yeah, I can still hear every last one of them for the next 25 minutes.
So I said no because there are things I don't agree with. But I specified to this lovely man, ladies and gentlemen, I said, don't have this conversation until we can sit down and have this conversation as one. Because I know you, and you have a tendency to put things in a way that sparks an argument. Now, this is what we agreed upon. Folks, when I tell you I was not at work a good hour.
Okay, but before you decide to jump down my throat and stump out my whole inside.
I'm not jumping down your throat. I'm just telling you how it went.
Okay, first of all, you wasn't there. Mm-hmm. So let me go ahead and put my cards on the table since it looked like I'm playing with a bunch of hearts and clubs.
Okay.
This was the situation.
Mm-hmm.
I was upstairs in my room watching the survival people building houses out of mud and stuff.
Still weird, but go ahead.
Which I thoroughly enjoy.
Weird, but go ahead.
Whatever. I have no problem with that. I was minding my own business. Next thing I know, I receive a text message. Come downstairs. We need to talk to you. I just got off work. I don't want to talk to nobody. My boss done got on my doggone nerves because
man, that thing.
I wanted to put her in the dumpster.
That thing right there.
But anyways, I got back to the house.
Mm-hmm.
And so I came down. Came downstairs and I'm like thinking to myself, WTF do you want? I'm like, yes. And this is how it goes. Cedric. Yes. Is there something that you need to tell us? What you talking about? What's going on? What you mean what's going on? So finally they go like,
oh, that's still funny to me, man.
yeah, like I know where they hitting at, but I'm basically saying subliminally, leave me alone.
Right. Like,
Because
we're not having this conversation
I'm
right
not
now.
having this conversation right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to be cool. Well, what's going on with you and this young lady? We good? We fine? All right. Can I go back later on? No. What's this I hear that y'all planning something big? So at this point, I'm like, F. I'm like, so y'all want to just go ahead and tell me what you already know? And then I will let you know if what you heard is absolutely true.
So you tried to play coy?
Oh, I try to play very coy. I try to play checkers. So, and then it went to, I hear y'all got big plans getting ready to go down. I'm like, yeah. You mind telling us what it is? Not really. Because if we're going to be perfectly honest, and I really don't care if they find this podcast or not. I really didn't want none of you there in the first place.
Now.
No. I done bit my tongue for too long. I really didn't want to do. So I was like, all right, cool. I said, yeah. I said, me and her plan on getting married. Oh, really? Yeah. You wasn't going to tell us? No. Why not? I don't want to. So then it was hit with, well, is they gonna be performing the wedding? I said, to be honest, no. Due to the fact that you screwed up when she was here yesterday.
Now, here's the crazy part about that.
Now, keep in mind, wasn't none of this said to her. Did nobody say how I got cornered and how I was forced into this bull crap that I knew inevitably was getting ready to transpire.
I mean, but then my phone started blowing up talking about, now this is what really got me as I'm reading these messages. And mind you, I am working in dementia care, and that is the only reason why I was able to kind of respond, because we had everybody situated. But my phone is dinging and dinging and dinging, and I'm like, what is and I already knew. I said, he done opened his mouth.
Now, keep in mind, she done jumped to this conclusion without even hearing. She didn't even call me. She just immediately assumed that I just said, hey, we getting married. That wasn't even the case.
But my phone is going off, and I'm getting...
Do you not have a do not disturb?
Yeah, no. Hello, I'm a caregiver. I have an elderly person at home.
Okay, cool. It ain't her. Hit the block notification.
Yeah, no. It was text messages. So these messages are going off, but this is what got me.
Some
you
bullshit,
made a promise when you were 5 years old.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
You about to start having me cuss on here.
Oh, you cannot cuss. You have been delivered. 5. I was like, what? So at this point, I'm asking.
Now keep in mind, I was born in 1985.
So you made this promise when you was 5?
That would have been 1990.
And I was 2.
You know what? The fact that you laughing in my face right now when I had to go do this complete... You know what? Give me a minute. We'll be back. We'll talk about this. And I'll holler at y'all. And right after this music video song from Meech. Back on After Effects and this retarded freaking 5-year-old promise.
But it blew me because I'm like, 5, like at 5, you're just learning how to spell, write,
wipe your behind.
Right. Like, how was you holding a 33-year-old to a promise from when what? So me being me. Because
special ed.
I mean, but I'm honest, but I have Koof in my statement.
You can't spell Koof.
I can, but I'm not going to. I was like, how can you hold someone to... I said, well, how about this? You're saying that he made this promise when he was 5, correct? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, but did anybody ever consider who his potential wife may be? And maybe that wouldn't have been the direction that she wanted to go in. And I was like, you know what? I can't today. I'm like, but I'm going to call a family meeting tomorrow. And we're all going to just sit down and talk because right now I'm at work and I really can't deal with this. And
now, this is what she ain't telling y'all. The second, and I promise you, I ain't lying about this. You can put me on a stack of Bibles. After she got through with that conversation, don't know how, but at this point, I'm back up in my room with the door closed, watching my mud people.
Strange.
All I know is my phone ring, and all I said was, babe, forget that. She go clean off. Didn't I tell your MFing behind not to open up your DAM mouth?
Nah, wait.
Really?
I didn't go that deep.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Because then after you got through cussing me out, you hung the phone up and would not answer no more until the following day.
No, first of all, I always called you when I got home.
You did?
Yes.
You did?
No,
you didn't. Because
yes.
I'm telling you, you sent me a text message.
I still let you know I was home.
That ain't no phone call.
It is a call. But it was more so the fact that my phone was still jumping because he's not hearing the other side or seeing the other side of this.
I don't give a...
So I'm at work and I'm getting, can you please reconsider? He's crying. He's hurt. And I'm like, really, yo? So right before I have to go to school,
there's some bullshit.
I call this meeting. And I just lay it out on the table like this. I'm like, listen, this is the position that's needed of you. Not this position.
Now, before you go into that, let me specify one more time.
Oh, boy.
I did not say one more time. I said one more time. I said in the clear-cut beginning, I said if it was up to me, there would be a handful of people. If I decided to invite them, the only person I wanted from my side, this is what I said, would be me. However, little Miss Twinkle Toes over here,
Hey, now.
extend the olive branch because I'm the new wave coming in and I don't want them to dislike me. Please tell them how that turned out for you.
Well, fast forwarding because
No, I ain't no fast forward.
I'm getting there, but I'm saying fast forwarding because we're getting a little lengthy on time. But
I don't care nothing about this. They want the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help them God.
But here's the thing. That decision was not solely made by me. And it was actually a good thing to a certain degree that I got a chance. Let me finish, sir. It was a good thing that I got the opportunity to see the true colors of what I was about to walk into. Because, I didn't realize, honestly, all jokes aside, I did not realize the true trauma that was coming along with this marriage because of the...
You do know I tried to prevent that.
I get it, but it's a good thing I was able to see it because it allowed me coming into the marriage to understand how to pray for you. It allowed me to know how to help you, and it allowed me to understand how to comfort you. Without that experience, it would have been a facade.
Well, let's dive into this facade, shall we? How were you accepted when it was announced that you were against the proprietor of hosting the ceremony?
Well, it was more than that because, again, if you know me, you know me. My status is my status. My standards are my standards. And I remember my first meeting of extended family, and we were...
I did not ask for.
I didn't ask for that either. We was kind of thrust into that meeting, but...
You do know it was a setup.
Yeah, but they got set up themselves when they found out that I wasn't no sucker. And I made the statement like, hey, the wedding starts at this time. If you're late, you're not going to be able to get in. Now, this is common sense because if you're late to a wedding, why would you think that you would be able to cut off the wedding line to get to a seat?
Common sense are not that common.
I say it all the time. So it was perceived in a different way, and it went to, but you're this person to him, and is she saying that you won't be able to? And I flipped the switch, and I was like, I'm not saying nothing of that sort, but why would you want to be late to a wedding? Now, that's trickled a whole nother situation, which I personally didn't care. And as the time kind of went on and we get to the wedding, which is why I told y'all in the first episode, if I could redo my wedding all over again, I would, but never the person I'm married to.
And to this day, you and this person still do not have a relationship.
Don't want one.
Don't like each other.
Don't. And honestly, yes, I'm saved, sanctified, and filled with the Holy Ghost, but it's just certain spirits I'm not even trying to dance with. So no, that's cool. But with that being said, there was a lot of, but this is what gets me. The sidebar conversations of, I need to talk to you. Talk to me about what and for what? He doesn't make enough money.
That right there blew me.
I mean,
I ain't gonna lie, like, you cutting off my whole manhood at that point.
I was like, whoa. Especially the people that this was coming from.
Yeah.
I was like, what is, well, you need to convince him to get a better job. I done tried to have his brother talk to him about baby being in trucking so that he can make enough money, because he was always taught to protect, provide, and provision. And I'm like, huh? And it was, but you're stable. You're in nursing. You're doing so well for yourself, and he needs to be able to. So finally, because I have to process stuff before I speak on stuff. So finally, I got tired of being sick and tired. And my response was, when did I ever say I needed his money? Who said I was marrying him for money? The last time I checked, as you stated, I'm stable, right? So that would mean that I got this. I'm marrying him because I love him. I'm marrying him because I prayed to God for a husband that I could trust, that I knew would protect me and comfort me and love me and be my prayer partner and my covering and my shield.
Don't forget about the part how they said that you were a better match for my brother.
Yeah, that was crazy too. Yeah. But I was like, who said that? Like, I'm not looking for money. Money can be obtained. I got this. And people were taken aback because it was the 3 P's, but I had to explain to that person that it's my job to have provision as well. It is my job to have foresight as well as insight. Why are we putting all these responsibilities on him? And they were taken aback by it, and then it became a pissing competition of who was the better man for me. Like, I am not something that's on auction. Are you serious with me right now?
25, 35, 45, 55, 75, 85, 95, right. 100 is sold to the highest bidder.
I'm like, how am I being auctioned off here? Like, no. And I mean, after I made my stance about that, then I noticed that you began to have doubts about if you were going to be the man that you needed to be. And I said, oh, the devil is a lie, dude. We not even about to do this. Like, come on now. And I mean, everything happens the way it was supposed to happen. I could just say it was just insane, because as we get to the day of the wedding now at this point,
before we get into that, I want to give a quick shout out to who I think is like the bombest pastor ever.
Yes.
Shout out to Beautiful Gates Ministries.
Come on.
Apostles Cassandra and Hosea McGill.
Yes.
I love you. Always have.
Always will.
Always will. Man, y'all did y'all thing with that there.
Yes.
But the day of the wedding, because I got to.
I mean, this is after we were in premarital counseling, because I refused to get married without it.
Right.
And it just shows how when you do stuff in the proper alignment, how stuff just flows.
Now, I you know I got to bring this up. You know I got to.
You just being messy now, dude. Come on now. Bring it up.
The day of the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
How many people from the extended side showed up for the ceremony?
2.
All right. So, if y'all really want more, before we end this, we letting you know there is going to be a part 3.
Yeah.
And it's coming up soon.
Because this is going to get interesting.
Because we get ready to get wild. Till then, After Effects said he said, I holla. Subscribe to Meech M33CH, YouTube, Spotify, whatever you listen to your music. Peace out.